Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday.
Hey, hey.
Feels like a Monday, but hey, happy
Yeah,
Wednesday.
yeah, and it hurts. It hurts. Wednesdays hurt.
Wednesdays do hurt because you're not through. You're like, I'm kind of halfway through, but dang,
We're
there's
only
still two more
halfway.
days.
Yeah.
Ah,
Wednesday
Oh,
for
my
me
goodness.
is the day where I'm like, why ain't it Friday yet?
I know.
Yeah.
my
You know,
Friday's tomorrow. Oh, and
January has always been the longest month.
that's
The
true.
longest month. Hi, Werewolf. Hi, everybody. I see y'all in there. Um,
Hey, everybody.
January just happens to be the longest month for me.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, all the fun is over, and now what? We have nothing.
You're left with your New Year's resolution that you're still trying to live up to.
I didn't even make one. I just didn't even make one. I
Well,
guess
what?
it's because of all the things going on. I just didn't even think about it.
Mhm.
But I'm hoping for a better year. That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
I'm hoping for a better year.
Yeah.
yeah. Cross fingers, and please
Yes.
stop taking all my heroes. Okay.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
While everybody's just filing in, we're just talking about what's going on in the week. And um, I had an interesting weekend. Unfortunately, Randy's got swept to the side. He didn't get to do nothing.
But I'm gonna make up for it for these next 2 weeks.
All right. All right. Sounds good. So I went to a place in Missouri, of course. It's a private location because it is a private residences, private properties, things like that. It started off in the paranormal ghost hunt type range, and it quickly went to Bigfoot. Trust me. So it was really weird because when I'd gone out there towards the evening, and we know it gets dark so
Yeah,
early now,
yeah.
and so I'm driving out there. I not only passed the house once, not twice. I got it there the third time. I finally made it. It's so dark out there. You can't see any of the road signs. You can't see anything. Oh, well, welcome, welcome, welcome to our newest one. I don't know which one, Randy, Victoria. Welcome.
We'll go with
If it's
both. We're
both of
good.
you,
Randy V.
welcome to you both.
Yeah.
Randy V.
we're, we're glad you're here. But it was really exciting,
Yeah.
exciting out there. I did get to do a little bit of a hike, and there was a river with rushing water. So we know in the paranormal world that is a number one uh, energy, that puts out energy. So you have that available to you.
Mhm.
Then we're in prime Bigfoot country. I'll tell you all a little story about what had happened when I was out there. Like I said, we went into the house, and we didn't get into that, but we got into a lot of the history of that place, a lot of the places around it, which has been very tragic for decades. Now that they're finding out, it could be 100 years or better about the tragedies that has happened in this location.
Mhm.
And it's not just this one property; it is the town. It's
Yeah.
it's it's just the whole place out there.
Mm.
And it is remote, and the signal, I mean, I had hardly any signal out there, and I have AT&T, which usually you get great signal just about anywhere, not out there. That was definitely in a dead zone. But we were on a hike, and there's large granite boulders out there that we were climbing over, all kinds of things. And then we came down to a spot exactly on the river, and it was like a not a cliff, but it was high up on these boulders, and we're looking down and across the river. And as we're looking off onto the other side, I seen like a little like flicker, and it looked like a silver gray eye shine to me. And I was like, what was that? And then all of a sudden, you just seen this black mass just move through the trees real quick. It was just a real quick blip. Had no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. And then the lady I was with, her husband was hearing us talk about this. Now there was another guy that was there with us, and he thought he seen like a bluish silver, but the lady next to me said it was like a silver gray type thing that she had seen. So, but we were standing close together, and depending on where the light was hitting, he might have seen something different.
Yeah.
But as we were standing there talking about it, then we heard this big loud clap, like a big rock threw on top of another rock. You know how that sounds? And it was just super loud. Right.
Yeah.
But in this meantime, the husband, he's running back to camp. I mean, running back to camp, trying to get the drone up in the air because of what we saw. And as he was running back, he was a ways away from us and heard this loud noise. He thought we did it. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't do that now that I'm, getting, all of this stuff out here. I'm not going to make that type of noise. I don't know what's out here. So he got he got the drone in the air, and he said that there was nothing in the area that we would think would be unusual.
Gotcha.
So he didn't see anything out there, but we did.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything. We've had all these kind of theories out there, and some we'll talk about on later shows.
Yeah.
But I mean, what starts off as a ghost hunt, then you go to Bigfooting. It was just amazing, just amazing. So I'm looking forward to getting out there a little bit more, and then next week we'll get to hear about what Randy did.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
Randy's
interesting.
about to go on some paranormal adventures.
I hope. Until we'll see what happens come Sunday morning when I'm dragging my what in through the door, going, what the hell was I doing?
I know. And I keep telling people about the paranormal hangover, but people just don't understand.
Oh,
They
God.
don't understand, and it was so cold, when I was out there. It was freezing, and that takes everything out of you, just everything. And
Yep.
because we were out in the woods, and probably about 5 minutes into the trail, one of the ladies lost her light. It went dead.
Yep.
So I brought out my fast flashlight. That one went dead. A few minutes later, I got out another flashlight. That one went dead. Then I got to the third one, and that one went dead.
I just gonna sit back and think that she just wasn't totally prepared and had all them old batteries ready to roll and stuff.
Yeah, I would have said that, but one of them was rechargeable. Well, the ladies was rechargeable and fully charged, and my rechargeable was fully charged. So,
like I said, we talked about this the other day, and I told you that you walked through an area that was just waiting for that stuff to get there.
Yes, and like I said, the area is full of tragic stories and things that have happened, and it's just amazing. So, like I said on Sunday, I don't know how they're going to tell this story because we are not even into what's really happening over there. But I'm not going to give too much away. But it was fascinating.
No spoilers.
Right. Well, anyway, so tonight we're going to be talking about Las Vegas.
Yeah. Joy.
Well, we're going to be, I mean, you can't talk about Las Vegas without Elvis and the Brat Pack and, mob connections and all of that stuff. It is just a fascinating place with a dark underbelly. And that's all I can tell you. I mean, it is dark, very dark. Which we're going to be explaining some of that here, and we're going to start off. We all have types of stories that we're going to talk about tonight, but we're going to start off with Randy first, and he picked a certain location that he's going to talk about in Las Vegas.
Oh, real quick before we start, let's each of us go around, tell the people how many times we have been to Vegas ourselves, and then we'll start.
Okay,
go, Randy. You're up. Oh, Randy.
Okay, I've been there twice, but that's because going to National Training Center in Fort Irwin, California.
No. We're talking about on vacation, like you get to go.
That case, zero. Never.
Zero.
Brandy, how about you?
I've been there twice.
Okay. I've been there once. It was 4 years ago for my best friend's 40th birthday.
Oh, sweet. See, it's been a minute since I've been. It's been a while. So, I mean, you can blink and not go there for a year, and then you go back, and then there's always something new going on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're constantly changing the face on the strip. I mean,
Oh,
honestly,
yeah.
they're changing stuff left and right all the time. So,
Right? Right? That is absolutely true. That place
If
is
we
ever
have time
changing.
later, I'll tell you a particularly crazy story about something that happened to me there.
well,
Okay.
If we got time at the end.
we got time now. What the heck? No.
Go ahead. Tell
No,
us your
go
story.
ahead.
What happened to you in
Yeah.
Vegas?
What happened to you in Vegas?
Well,
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, though, right?
No, it
I
don't.
was kind of let's put it at the end because it's kind of a long story, and I want to dive right into the paranormal first, and then see what we're working with at the end.
Oh, so
It's
it's
kind
not
of long.
paranormal, huh?
No, but it's crazy. It is pretty
Okay.
crazy.
All right. Well, then we start talking about mine. Mine's pretty kind of simple because everybody knows Circus Circus. Okay.
Yes.
Circus. Oh my goodness. I started reading on this and looking at this thing. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. This kind of cool. Oh, wait a second. When did that happen? This thing has such a ghoulish history, and
Place.
there's been stuff happen over the years. I don't know how many times because it doesn't even give dates on some of the stuff from back in the early '70s and the mid '70s and such. Because Circus Circus didn't open till October of '68, and the hotel wasn't added until '72. So this freaking place was what inspired the movie Casino. It
Yeah.
didn't dawn on me until I started reading about it. I was like, okay, well, that makes kind of sense now. The
And
mob dealings in Circus Circus,
that's the very first place I stayed. The first time I went to Vegas, I stayed in
Yeah.
that hotel.
Yeah. That was the more I kept reading about it, the more I'm like, man, what the heck? All these mob dealings and stuff. And then of course the home of the Adventure Dome, of course, the little amusement park they have there, and everything.
Mhm.
And how do you go to Vegas without thinking about Circus Circus anyway? You know what I mean? It's like
Yes.
Cirque du Soleil. You got Cirque du Soleil does their thing, which I think they just went bankrupt this last year. So I don't know if they're
Oh
doing anything.
man,
Yeah, Cirque du Soleil went bankrupt
I went
this
to see
last.
Cirque du Soleil 4 years ago. They were awesome.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard it was amazing too.
It
But
was
of course,
incredible.
Circus Circus has their thing too. So, but the more I kept reading into it and looking at stuff, I mean, you've got this is not a small place. I mean, they put a lot of stuff into this, and that big top look that they got going on. Yeah, I can see certain things. Not better not be no clowns. That's all I got to say. No clowns, no clowns. And then, of course, when it first kind of got going, this is what it looked like.
Yes.
So free admission circus acts. I'm like, wow. I mean, honestly, wow. That is just like I don't even know how to put that one because it's like going back in time and looking at an old Whataburger or an old McDonald's.
Mhm.
That old A-frame or the Whataburger, seeing the original golden arches, type thing. And I'm just like, man, that is just like a step back in time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But anyway, so there have been stuff that's happened there over the years like crazy. The last one to be acknowledged and happened was on June 1st, 2018. This is the only one I could find a real date on because the rest of them are all kind of like, hey, this happened here and this is what happens, but it didn't really give me a date. But this one gave me a date. And that night, two people were found dead in their hotel room of a murder. Okay. They were a Vietnamese couple. They were brutally stabbed, what turned out to be a robbery gone wrong, leaving a horror show behind. Okay, so these girls, this couple, I should say, were brutally murdered, and now it doesn't say what room they were in. There are still people that say they see this couple going down the hallway of that area. Well, now if you just got a murder like that happen to you, I can understand that. I can
Yeah.
understand you still hanging out there.
Yeah.
So if you got this happening and you've got different things like the murders, obviously with gang related stuff, the mob related incidences that have been happening, they start talking about, well, okay, this guy was murdered here, this guy was murdered there, but nothing really comes back as far as a true haunting per se until you get to these guys, this couple, and the legend of room 123. Okay, Room 123. Holy crud, did I go down a rabbit hole with that one? This is where it all started. Okay. Room 123 was the site of a murder suicide of a lady and her young son. Okay. Let's see if I can find the dead. They were found dead of apparent murder suicide. The What drove the mother to take her child's life and then end her own life has never been uncovered, and there's no reverberation of any heinous acts that was going on in their life at the time. So she just lost it. We don't know. Nobody understands. But she took her own life and the life of her son in that hotel. It doesn't give you anything more really about it other than just that's what happened. But now you've got staff and you've got others that will actually how can I put it? They see the kid walking and skipping up and down the hallway, and you can hear the other lady laugh. Give me 2 seconds here. Hang on just a second.
Yeah, I don't. With a hotel like that, there has got to be a lot. I mean, think of it this way: if you were to pass away, and Circus was your favorite place to be, in anywhere that you've been,
Yeah.
well, where do you think you're going to hang out at?
Oh yeah, it's the same thing we've talked about with different cemeteries. I always ask myself, why would somebody come to the cemetery and haunt the cemetery? And you think back, I've heard people tell me, well, they want to see their family when their family's there. Okay,
Plus,
now that I can understand.
as someone who's grown up around a lot of Vietnamese people, they love their gambling.
Oh
boy.
yeah, oh yeah,
Oh boy, they love their gambling.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
And so yeah, I can understand why they'd be hanging out there. I mean, but that double murder there and the murder suicide, the one everybody says now. I say everybody. The accounts of room 123 are you still get little sounds of the little boy help me saying help me, and you hear the woman scream, and then I mean they even challenged people at one point to stay in 123, and I'm like, I do it, I do it.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I'll do
Yeah.
it.
I mean, just tell me. I mean, I'll go there in a heartbeat. But now you have to physically ask for it. From what I understand, from what I was reading, you have to physically ask for room 123. And this is all, like I said, relatively recent history. You talk about, like I said, I don't know what happened with the woman when the woman and the child happened, but the other one was in 2018. And then the others, you're talking about probably between 75 and probably 95, maybe. So it's just 20 years that's got that much bad history with it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's probably just so much. There's so much, that Vegas holds anyway.
Yeah.
And Cool Hand is correct. Tex totally would stay in room
Oh yeah.
123. Yeah.
But y'all got to remember
no shadow
also
of a
though,
doubt.
Tex would do it, but Texas is repellent. Okay. When Tex goes ghost hunting, nothing happens. Everything runs away from him. uh, but now talking about that, but there was another one where the little boy is seen in the hallway hand in hand with his mother at the time. Okay, that's been reported as well, and they're looking for somebody named Robert. There was one here that they quickly disappeared, never really traced a clue of who Robert might be. They were crying for help on the first floor, and he actually would communicate somehow with a couple of them, and he was looking for somebody named Robert. They've never been able to figure out who this Robert is. That's when they would dissipate and be gone. It's just like the stories you hear about the hitchhikers. Oh yeah, I'm trying to get to so and so. You take them to so and so, and they're gone. They're all of a sudden not in your
Hmm.
passenger seat no more. You know what I mean? The gray lady type stuff, or the hitchhiker, the white lady hitchhiker, type thing.
Hmm.
But that's basically what this is. And I'm like, okay, while that's tragic and such, I can understand. Maybe this Robert was somebody supposed to be meeting them. You know what I mean? Or maybe he was the one behind it all. What do we know? You know?
Well, and you kind of have to think back about, I mean, what was this lady going through? We don't know. We don't know. I mean, there's there could be so many scenarios that we could put to that,
Yeah.
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 that she was at her wit's end, had a terrible divorce, whatever. Took the son on one last trip to have fun somewhere, and that was that, or it's just or she just snapped. I mean, there's so many different things. I mean, when I had went, the crazy thing about Circus is there wasn't as many kids as I would have thought there.
No, that's an adult place, the way I understand it.
Yeah, I mean, they have this whole park and it's themed for kids and this whole 9 yards, and there wasn't as and then you get around where the kids would be, like the play area, the arcade, the whole thing, and you get this really creepy feeling like there's something
Yeah.
wrong right here.
Yeah.
You
And
know, you get it.
the whole bit with this, I mean, when we start talking about like the mobs and such, the mafia being involved in it and such like that, and the more you dig into it, I'd feel safer sleeping above where the St. Valentine's Day massacre happened than going into some of these places that I've read about today and yesterday. Like this
Yeah.
this one, when we're talking about there's also a thing with there's three male apparitions in the kitchen that see, what did it say? They scream. See, they make the kid sounds of screams, and it hurt at the top floor windows. Okay, in the kitchen area. Now, when these things are happening, they're kind of people or psychics, I guess, or mediums have pointed it back toward Tony the Ant. Okay, Tony the Ant is what was his actual name? Anthony John Spilotro, nicknamed Tony the Ant. This is the guy that Joe Pesci's character of Nicky Santoro. That's what his character was based on. This guy was one of the most prolific killers of his age, of his day. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He was not even really a serial killer, a murderer, or anything. Well, a murderer, yes, but he wasn't a serial killer. He wasn't a nutcase. This was his job. He was the enforcer.
Mhm.
And so this guy is like, he was led the hole in the wall gang and was put in charge of Circus because they had gone into business with the guys that opened it in 1968, not realizing what they were getting into.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, at one time, all of Las Vegas was owned by, you know, the mob.
Mob of some sort, mafia of some way, shape, or form. Yeah,
Yeah, that was their place to be,
yeah.
and
That,
they had to find some way to launder money
yep,
and all kinds of stuff and to hide things,
yeah.
you know,
And
like
what better
we
place than Vegas?
like we hear about things disappearing in the desert. They're not
Hmm.
far. They're not far.
Yeah,
So, it was just a great place to dispose of things. It was a great place to, clean some money. I mean, why else would you build something like that in the middle of
yeah.
a desert? It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. I mean, other than to do exactly what we're talking about. Now we're talking about Bugsy Siegel. Then you talk about he's the one that really started it all. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
so
We
Thank
gotta,
you,
we gotta.
Tech.
ooh, we got a text sighting. Hi,
Howdy.
text. But yeah, I mean, so the more I kept reading into this guy Spilotro, he was he obviously getting into and taking over that gang and getting into the business. He ran foul of his big boys in Chicago because that's where he's from, the Chicago mob, and it led to his own murder in that same building. So he was actually killed in there.
Mm,
So could he be one of them that's haunting and moving around these male apparitions they're talking about? I know one
yeah.
thing. I'd like to sure as heck set up some static cameras and sit there and watch it, or better yet, give me access to your hallway feeds and stuff, and let me watch it for about 3 months, and let's see what we got.
Right. Well,
We
I
talked
heard
about
that
this the other day too.
The Tropicana's no slouch in the haunting
No,
area.
no, nope,
Now,
not one
I was
bit.
there and I got to see a show at the Tropicana, which was
Hmm.
fabulous. The the whole Las Vegas showgirls, kind of show, the classic. And I got to see that, and that was amazing. But it's not as nice as the others. Okay.
No, but still,
But
if I'm going to one of these places we're talking about right now, I'm
mhm.
honestly not going for luxury. I'm going to actually investigate. Is what I'm
Or-
going for.
Yeah.
That's so
I,
true.
I'm sorry if I was going to just have fun by myself or whatever, or if we had a family outing or whatever, I wouldn't be staying in one of these. I'd find a nice little resort area to go. I mean, maybe Circus because it's still a nice little hotel. I mean, or and stuff like that. But still,
I've been to
I'm trying to.
Circus, but only in the casino part, never in the hotel. Didn't go to any of
Yeah.
the rooms.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's like
It
I remember Circus, the casino part being like extra crowded. Like everything was like much closer together.
Yeah,
Um,
on top of each other type thing.
yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of like it faces the stratosphere. If you know what I'm talking about, it faces right across. The stratosphere is like, I wouldn't say across the street because that's huge, but it is over that way in front of Circus. You can see it right from the hotel room.
And Michelle asked if anybody had ever seen the Chris Angel show there in Vegas. And it was amazing.
I tried to go there, but we didn't have time.
Yep.
I
And
did
my
get
son,
to try Gordon Ramsay's fish and chips though. Freaking amazing.
Well, yeah, that's what I
Freaking
hear.
amazing.
It's a Gordon Ramsay restaurant. What you expect?
yeah,
It was ridiculous.
I mean, honestly though, I mean, yeah, if I was going to Vegas to see shows, now we've got so many residencies going on. I think Def Leppard's doing a residency there now. Kiss was doing it before they retired, and now we've got who? There's another one that's just started. There's so many little acts that are out there too. You got Penn and Teller stuff that's still going on out there. For years, obviously Siegfried and Roy were out there until they got ate up by lions, or tigers. Sorry. But there's just so
Too
much
soon,
out there to
Ray.
go see. And dude, you can't see it in one weekend. That's for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's
I
so much
mean,
to do there.
well,
so
and has anybody looked up the price of tickets?
I'm not
I
going to
couldn't
either.
even afford to see a lot.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
quite frankly, I want to go someplace where I think somebody is going to be haunting it. That's where I'd rather go than go and see somebody I don't really care about seeing. You know what I mean?
I think just for the food alone, it's worth going to. I mean, I didn't gamble that much, but boy, did I eat.
Yeah.
Well,
Boy,
yeah,
did
I
eat.
mean,
I'll
if you're,
channel
Yeah.
Jumpinette and say
yeah,
we're going around the world in 80 buffets. Okay.
Yeah.
right. Well, I mean, if you're talking about hotels too, the Luxor Hotel
Yeah.
is not even an old hotel
Mm-mm.
in Las Vegas standards.
No.
And
And
that place.
this was the toss up when I was trying to decide which one I was going to do, Luxor or Circus. And I'm like, man, it was literally a flip of the coin because you could do a whole show on the Luxor. Honestly,
Only to bet every major hotel casino there is haunted in some way, like all of them.
gotta be. I mean, even
gotta
if
be.
just stuff from the land itself. You know what I mean?
I mean, I believe everywhere's haunted. It just it depends on
Well-
who's in it. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing, because Vegas is it's because so many people go there with big dreams and dreams get crushed so suddenly and routinely and so numerically. I
Mhm.
bet you there's a lot of ghosts there.
There is. Well, because the Luxor Hotel, when it was built, which I was in it when it was new, it did have the whole Egyptian theme. It was completely, but now this place is like crumbling. It's falling apart. It's
Nobody's taking care of it at all, have they?
no.
Kind of sucks.
They didn't
I mean,
even do anything with it, and they're not going to because it's sitting down at the farthest end of the strip.
yeah,
It'll
get torn down and something else be put there.
Yeah, I don't think they had. Well, at one point through its history, which wasn't long into when it was first built, they decided that people wanted like stuff to do inside, like a bar and all this other kind of stuff inside, that they didn't want all this Egyptian stuff.
Yeah.
So they kind of redid the Luxor Hotel, and then it ended up being bland. People stopped going, and it's just losing money,
Yeah.
and
Big
it's
Cracker Barrel did.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're finding out that support beams and things like that were never finished.
Now,
They
this
were
is the one that's
put in at construction, but
yeah.
never finished. And then, you know, a lot of people died during the construction. So that, I mean, the basis for that alone is crazy
Oh, yeah.
because they claim that there are some bodies that could be down in the foundation that couldn't be removed.
That would not surprise me. I mean, heck, you're not too far from the Boulder Dam either, you know, so or the what, not the Boulder Dam, the what's that
Hoover?
dam down? Yeah,
Hoover.
that one. Thank you, Hoover. Boulder's
Right.
up in Colorado. Never mind. I'm going backwards. But anyway, yeah.
Just say the Grand
How
Canyon. We
many
know.
rumors? Yeah. How many rumors do we hear about how many people are at the base of that? You know,
Oh yeah, people
slip,
jumped.
fall,
You know, jumped.
people jumped,
Yeah.
people slipped and fell while being built. You know, I mean,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
poor concrete, you fall into it. I'm sorry, we can't get 400 feet down there to grab you and pull you out. It's too late.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You're gonna be
and
lost.
but I was looking at this Luxor thing, you know, here, and like I said, that's the pyramid. If anybody just think about it, that's the Egyptian pyramid that's there. And think about what it costs to stay at some of these. Now, MGM Resorts, I guess, owns it now. But this is like $64 a night.
Yeah.
You
There's a
can't get
reason
that
for that.
around Fort Worth. You can't get a
No.
motel around Fort Worth for that.
There's a
Okay?
reason for it. There's a reason.
Yeah, I believe it. That immediately makes me think, what's wrong here?
Place is falling apart.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but anyway,
So,
yeah. So, God.
but yeah, that is one of the other places that have just a history. Even though, like I said, it's young compared to the other places in Las Vegas. In Las Vegas years, that hotel is young.
Now, Boondock just said that the first and the last people to die at the Hoover Dam were father and then his son. That is wild.
In building it. If I can
In building
remember
it,
that story correctly. Yeah, I heard it years ago though, that story.
It's
I'm
wild,
thinking
to be
that's
honest.
it. That it was either in the
That's
building
cool.
or in repairs. I couldn't remember.
One of the two, but either way, you got two family members now, either buried at it or their spirit might still be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that is my presentation, ladies and gentlemen.
That finishes this presentation.
Very
He's
nice,
all done with
Randy. Very nice.
Yeah,
Can I go to sleep now?
Yes, you can go to sleep now. We can talk about what I was going to talk about and let Donnie finish this up for the evening.
Okay, that's cool.
Mine's a little different. Okay.
Yeah, yours is a lot different.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the tunnels that are underneath Las Vegas that had originally been built for transportation purposes and mostly for floodwaters.
Okay.
And they say that there's over like 600 miles crisscrossing of tunnels going all the way through Las Vegas. And
You want to see the map first? Tell me which one you want first. That's all.
Let's look at the picture of the map. The map that I had sent. This is basically what the tunnel system is looking like.
Mm-hmm.
And they do need it. They do need it because when it rains there, or a heavy rain, the ground cannot absorb it like what we have in other places. It's just like a flash flood. It's just there it's nowhere to go. So they made all these tunnels for the water to dissipate through the area and not flood out the streets and everything else. Because it would be devastating, especially to the hotels and everything in there, how bad that would be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can see how extensive that this is. And it's over 600 miles.
Yeah, I mean,
But
look at all the little inlets and stuff on like on your purple line. I say purple line. You know, look at each one of those is its own little repository or little inlet, or if you want to call it that.
mhm,
So you got individual little rooms throughout the entire area if you want to get right
yeah,
down to it.
yeah,
Little chambers.
absolutely.
Little chambers, yeah.
So unfortunately, with this being there and accessible, I'm going to
Hmm.
say to everyone, because you can get in there in different multiple spots, just like Randy had just said.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of homeless people that have now taken up residence in these tunnels.
Yeah.
Some of them haven't seen the light of day in years.
Yeah.
That they just keep
It's
and
too
live in
easy.
these tunnels.
Yeah.
Right, and we know that, um, a lot of them have and still are addicted to, you know, different substances um, that they would rather just be under there and not worry about it because for number one, it protects them from the heat, that they're not subject to, you know, that bad heat, and if you've ever been to Vegas, you know you can fry an egg on the street.
Oh yeah.
Most
I got
generally
that over here.
anytime during yes. So this is actually a clean part of the tunnel
Oh yeah.
in most pictures that I had seen. And these people are
They're like,
living under there and they're called the mole people, like I said, because they just basically live under there and they're just away from other humans, should I say. These are people
yeah.
who have had gambling issues and have nowhere else to go. We talked about it. We talked about that a little bit.
Mhm.
Gamble till they have nothing left.
Yep.
We, you know, like I said, the substance issue is another thing. And I kind of looked this up because I was wondering how many deaths are they finding in these tunnels on a yearly basis? Do you know
No
that they're
idea.
not even keeping track of that?
Really?
They're not even keeping track of it. Most of the things that I'm finding, is it'll just say homeless on it,
And just bring them
and
out and put them.
it'll say the street above where they were found. It'll never say they were in the tunnels. It'll say the street that they were
Wow.
found on, which they'll say it's like just say Purple Street. If they found them on Purple Street, but they were found under Purple Street.
Oh, yikes.
Gotcha.
So they don't even know how many.
They don't even know how many. Right.
So,
But you know,
but
we
you
were
got
talking
people
about
that
these.
actually looking at it too.
Right. So, and we
The
were
hell?
talking about these being flood tunnels, also for like a monsoon type rain, things like that. They do report
Yeah.
a couple of deaths every year due to these floodwaters in the tunnels. Now
Yeah.
that tells you right there, it's the people in the tunnels.
Yeah. Definitely.
So
There's no
where
other
these
way.
people are where these people are going and hiding, or if they've got somewhere that they can get up on, you know, while this is flooding out, I have no idea.
Hmm.
Um, but I found that very strange. They are reporting in Las Vegas that there are over 800 deaths due to substance problems
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah.
How many of them found in the tunnels?
Who knows?
Don't
I
know.
mean,
See,
yeah.
they won't ever say they were in the tunnels. Why they never listed them in there? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
The only thing that they did list was during the floods or whatever, they said they got swept into the tunnel. That's the
Yeah.
only
But if
thing
they
that
were
they will
already in
say.
the tunnel to start with, they'd have been swept further into the tunnel. So, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. So I had watched a couple videos and read some articles about um some of these people who are living down in there that they are hearing like voices. And the first
Yeah.
thing I'm thinking is, yeah. I mean, if you were ever in a tunnel and started talking, it sounds like you know, it's bouncing off all the walls. You're going to hear like these conversations going on. And there's no really tally of, there's not a real tally of how many people are in it. They're guessing around 1,400 people are living in these tunnels. But you're talking about 1,400 in a 600-mile tunnel. And I'm sure they're not all clumped up together because we all know that that can be dangerous too. But they're talking about seeing shadows. Now this got me a little bit. They'll see shadows down in there moving across the tunnels. And I thought, holy moly. I mean, because you're down in there. You know, you're not just sitting right at the end where a lot of these pictures are taken. You're not sitting at the end of that tunnel because you're not allowed to be in there. And the first thing the police are going to do is escort you out. So the last thing you're going to do is being parked right at one of those tunnels where, you know, they do routine maintenance or, you know, there's an open, you know, place to go. You're not going to be down in those.
Yeah.
So you're going to be down in those tunnels. So I'm thinking, okay, how many people are still down in there that we don't know have passed away?
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
You know,
I mean, and that's not even counting the people that built the tunnels that might have died down there.
Yes. I'm thinking, okay, so, you know, we have all these haunted locations. We know that these tunnels were built, you know, when they were developing the town. We know this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was this another way to off people? I'm thinking maybe take them down in the tunnels, do away with them, and bam, that's it. That's all you got to do. Didn't have to go very far. Go dump them in the desert.
That's a
You're
thought.
done.
I mean, honestly.
Right. I mean, because, I mean, how easy would that be? Because these are running.
Once again, we're talking back about the mafia guys. We know stuff got taken out into the desert. Okay.
Yeah, that's just a given. That is just a given. There's people that have never been found, right? You know, and it's not hard to do. Because they're not you know, the desert roads and things going in and out of Las Vegas. Only the main road has traffic on it, but other than that, that's about it.
Yeah.
You know, I was amazed to hear the death toll, but nobody's saying that they're in the tunnels, and you know darn well that these people are dying in those tunnels because you know it's not sanitary. You know, they're catching diseases down there, you know, not only from each other, but from other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dirty,
Rat,
dirty,
feces.
dirty.
I mean, honestly, where are they going to the
rat
bathroom?
stuff. Yeah. It's just a dirty, dirty place. Bugs, whatever. So
yeah. No.
I was thinking about how many tunnels there are and the amount of tunnels.
Yeah.
They're running, like I said, running near all of these hotels and things.
Mm-hmm.
Even down near the Stardust where it used to be.
Yeah.
And that was one of the main ones when it all began.
Yeah.
So I was
it.
Right. So do I believe that these tunnels are haunted? Yes, I do. But you got to understand that a lot of these people are under the influence. So what we would think of them as a credible witness, I don't know if I could take them as a credible witness.
You'd have to look at them like you would anybody like down on Skid Row in New York. Okay. That kind of deal. Sure. You know, you can't believe half of what they're telling you. They might believe it. Don't get me wrong. And they might be animated about believing it. But you can't take it seriously because of what might have been in causing them to, I don't want to say hallucinate, but for lack of a better term, that's essentially what they'd be doing in some situations. So,
yeah. Now I don't know where these people are going during monsoon season, but they're not. They're going somewhere. They know somewhere to go. Yeah. Due to the fact is they're only having a couple deaths reported each year due to that in those tunnels.
Yeah.
And they don't say in the tunnel, they say they were washed in the tunnels.
Yeah. And, you know, quite frankly, I was stationed in El Paso for 5 years, and I understand what you're talking about when you say monsoon. Because in August, you could set your clock by a 4 o'clock storm. But it came down hard enough that ground there can only take in so much that quick. and it does
It
nothing but run off. That's why it stays so dry,
yeah,
because the excess runs off so fast, you never see it. And I
yeah.
mean, I've
Sand
watched it
doesn't really
seep things
absorb.
down.
Yeah,
No, it doesn't. Not worth the crap anyway. It can filter
no,
it, but it doesn't get through it fast enough to get to the true ground. So,
right,
and then
right,
you add concrete on top of it and pavement and stuff. Yeah, you're just asking for flood waters through there. That's all there is to it.
yeah. But
Yeah.
can you imagine all the pain, the suffering, the anguish, the even grieving of these people
Yeah,
who have no other choice but to live in these tunnels?
yeah,
The the
See, I'm wondering about all the different layers and like secret organizations and groups and criminal like industries that are down there,
oh yeah.
you know? Like
I
it could get
personally
How
kind of
many ain't?
scary when
How
you
many
think about
gains?
it.
I think it's a lawless society underneath there,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm sure they don't all live harmonious. You know what
Oh,
I
I imagine
mean?
not. Yeah,
And so you know, again, I understand, but I can't trace anything back to
yeah,
this being a registered um, camp, if you want to call it that. So they won't
yeah,
register any of the deaths in the tunnels. They'll only register them above ground. So I mean, it could say Fourth and Sixth Street.
yeah.
They you know that they died of a substance problem. Okay, that
OD
that
somehow, or
doesn't say
that's
above
where
or
we found
below.
them. No, and they
Yeah,
never will.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I read
And
a
for
story about a woman who had a car accident right there on the corner I can't even remember the name of the corner, but I didn't put much weight into the story. But she had a car crash, whatever, and they say that she is haunting the tunnels below, and I'm
yeah,
like, why?
yeah, it doesn't make any
Mm,
sense.
mm, No, it's like, why would she be down there? I don't understand that at all. I don't think that story with me is holding weight. I think somebody's just maybe encountered something, and that car crash was was in like a time frame that would
Yeah,
coincide with one another. But I don't
yeah,
put much weight into that. I think that there is all kinds of things down there. Like I said, I believe there was a lot of mob activity that happened down there, and it was quick and easy. They didn't even have
hmm.
to clean it up.
Now, like you were talking about with the other one, about where they were found dead or whatever the case might be.
Hmm.
Uh, who's to say that they didn't, pass further up in or whatever, and the people that are down there with them were the ones that took them out to that point where they were actually found.
Hmm.
You know, that would make sense too. I mean, you don't want to sit in there with a body, obviously.
That's right. They would just that's what the stories are pointing to for me, is that they would go down there, didn't even have to
Yeah,
clean it up. They would take care of them. Nobody would hear nothing. Nobody would hear nothing. I mean,
yeah,
Right.
if you've ever been to Vegas, you probably wouldn't hear it. Okay. And
probably
then
not.
they would just load them up in a vehicle and drive them out and dump them,
Hmm.
and wouldn't even have to clean that up. Just,
No.
yeah, they wouldn't have to hide anything,
Wow.
because all the evidence would eventually, at some point, be washed away. Because we know that it doesn't rain a whole lot in Vegas, but when it does, it does. Like I said, and it'll eventually all be washed away, and there'll
I
be
was
nothing
there in
left
Vegas.
anyway.
It actually rained one day. I was pretty surprised. I was like, "Oh, it actually rains here."
It never
I don't
rained
know.
one day when I was in Vegas, either time. Not one day. I was like,
Y-
you know, I went in September, um, which it felt like I was going to literally fall out. It was that
No.
hot.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
But
now you're
I
making me
don't,
think about Vegas, though. You're making me think about Vegas as if I'm going to a resort in the Dominican Republic or wherever. I ain't getting off the resort. I'm staying on the strip, and y'all just tell me about the other stuff, okay?
that strip
'Cause,
ain't too, no, that strip ain't great either. I
hell, I
would
don't want
usually
to
take,
get. Yeah,
I would usually take the trolley during the days, and just pay for the trolley to push me up and down. And then at nighttime, I would either take a taxi or sometimes they will have a shuttle from one hotel to another, especially if they're owned by the same company. They'll take you from one hotel to the next casino.
Gotcha.
So but would I walk that strip at night? No, absolutely not. Not unless I had a big group. There'd be no way. No, it after dark.
I love Patty.
That after dark, that strip turns dark. There's a lot of
really.
Yeah, there's a lot of seedy. Is the only word I can think of. There's a lot of seedy characters out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And even though they say that as long as you stay on the strip, that usually it's okay. But when you get into the older part of Las Vegas with the Nugget, the Golden Nugget, and all of that, those casinos there, they say stay in the tourist areas. Do not go, off the beaten path. Stay, that those are lower poverty areas, which they have a higher crime rate. So, I personally have never been down in that area. There's so much to see just on the one strip because everybody thinks, that the Caesar's Palace and MGM and all of them, that's a whole different area.
Yeah.
There, the main strip was not that one. It's and they have blackout dates where nothing is up and running during those days. They have blackout days where the casinos shut down, everything shuts down.
So they, kind of like rolling blackouts when they're having to conserve the energy things.
They just have blackout days. I don't know what they're for. I couldn't tell you, but I know that when I was there, they were saying it was every Wednesday. I mean, the casinos would shut down, but the hotels would run, but the casinos and everything would shut down. There'd be no shows, no nothing.
Yeah.
That's in the old part.
Just kill the lights.
Vegas. Yeah, where you would see the Welcome to Vegas sign. That is the old part of Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. You don't want to go there. You want to avoid that place if you're a tourist, if you're not from around there.
Exactly. So take plenty of money for the trolley, for Ubers, whatever, taxis. Because first of all, you don't want to drive in that place. It's a madhouse. I would crash. And I'm not like a race car driver, but I seriously think that I would crash because these people are diving in and out, and I'd try to swerve and miss somebody and hit somebody else. I just no. That's just no.
Yeah.
That is probably one of the
like you say, that's one of those things I don't know if I'd want to do it.
Besides Paris, France, Las Vegas is the worst city that I've ever had to drive in downtown. That's the worst. The worst one.
Have you never driven in Boston?
Oh, I've been to Boston. Yeah.
Have you driven in Boston?
I was in traffic jams the whole time. It wasn't. They were speeding.
Yeah,
they weren't speeding around. No, we were caught traffic jams.
Exactly. You're at a dead stop, and if you're moving, you better figure out how to get over real quick.
No. No. I was talking about it when people actually using the gas pedal.
So in other words, they're driving like it's the Autobahn. Huh?
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, so that concludes my part of the story, which I honestly think these people are bringing their own evil in with them.
Yeah.
That's
or
what
living
I think.
with the evil they went down there with.
Yeah.
It does make me curious what else is down there.
Yeah. Well, now,
I don't know.
Obviously,
Ninja Turtles.
Obviously, somebody's trying to figure it out too, because these guys don't look like your normal,
No, they look like urban explorers.
That's what they look like to me too. They're trying to go figure something out down there, because that's all gravel. It looks like right down there at the base. So.
I wouldn't be trying that.
Mm-hmm.
No. Now, when you don't know what you're walking into.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No.
You sent one to me. Yeah, you come around a corner and find something like that. No.
Yeah, or you're finding, all of the Yeah. Pictures, spray
kind of crap.
paint, everything. Yeah, and that
Yeah,
actually
the
looks
whole
nice
thing.
compared to some of the pictures I was looking at.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it looks like somebody there, whoever that is, staying in that area, takes pride in where they're staying. Obviously,
Yeah,
they
I'm
keep it
curious
neat.
about like who's got the nicest spot in those tunnels. It's like all furnished and they got like rugs and lamps and
It's
you know,
probably the one that's probably the
them.
ones who don't get flooded.
yeah, like who's been there forever and they know like every inch of the tunnels.
Exactly. Okay, so this one
Mhm.
doesn't leak as much, we might have a little water damage, but it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But that's
All
it for
right.
me.
Wow.
Okay, I guess I'm
That's
up then.
wild on that.
I guess
Yeah.
Donnie shows up.
You got it, man.
Okay. Okay, so for my choice of what I wanted to talk about in terms of Las Vegas paranormal is actually part of the reason why I got into the whole paranormal cryptid scene in the first place. I just want to briefly explain. When I was about 4 years old, still living in Canada, because I was born in Toronto, um, I did have an encounter, which was later corroborated by people, of which I believe that I did encounter the entity known as the Elvis. Now, as a child of the 80s, I grew particularly keen on the topic of encounters with the being known as the Elvis. And, the only thing I was able to find with regards to the topic at that time in the 80s would be the supermarket. Remember those supermarket tabloids back in the day?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The
Those
inquiring
ridiculous
minds want to
tabloids.
know.
Yeah, you'd see stuff like this, right?
Yes.
And you'd be waiting online to check out your groceries and you'd see these tabloids, right? And that's the only time I could see any acknowledgement of my own personal encounters with the entity known as the Elvis. And this is what originally piqued my interest. So then, cut to now as an adult, I get first exposed into the paranormal cryptid community on YouTube, and for the first time, I'm meeting all these people. I'm being introduced to all these shows and these chat rooms about
Mhm.
ghosts and Bigfoot and Dogman and UFOs. But where's Elvis? At some point between the 80s and now, for some reason, Elvis was pushed out of the conversation. We still have podcasts about Bigfoot, right? Bigfoot's still around. We still got Loch Ness Monster. People are talking
Yeah.
about that. But there's no more space anymore, guys, in the cryptid field and in the paranormal community for those who have had encounters with the Elvis.
Oh my gosh, Donnie. We're going to have to catch you up to speed.
Therefore,
There is a man who they believe now could be Elvis.
oh, I know about that. I've done lots of research into that. Lots of research. I can't bring that up now because that's a whole podcast in and of itself.
We need to do that on your show.
I got to stick to just Elvis sightings in Vegas
Yes. Let's
because if I
do it on your show, Dottie.
yeah,
We're gonna
that's
let's do it on your show.
yeah, I'm sticking to just Vegas because if
Okay,
I
just say
expanded all Elvis sightings, like if I expanded to Graceland, like Graceland by itself is just its own podcast, right?
it's a mecca. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Let's do it. All right.
yeah. So I did, and for those of you who are familiar with my show, especially some of the earlier episodes, I did start my own organization. It is the newest branch of the cryptid and Fortean topic field, the new branch of research. I started my own organization, and it's known as the North American Elvis Project, and I am the president. And for those of you in the chat who may be listening, if you yourself have had an encounter with the Elvis, please do reach out. We here at the North American Elvis Project, we are a grassroots, boots on the ground research organization. We're highly organized. Please don't feel afraid to be judged, because I know we Elvis experiencers, we've been pushed out by those very judgmental Bigfoot people. They look down on us, but we here at the North American Elvis Project, we will not look down on you. Not like those dogmen experiencers, not like those UFO freaks. We're a safe space. So please reach out. if you've
Thank
been
you,
touched
Donnie,
by
for that
it.
public service announcement, please. Thank you.
So it is through my
Wait, wait,
research. Yes.
wait. I actually saw Elvis in a UFO, and Ray Stevens even sung about it. So yeah.
Well, you're welcome to share your experiences with us at the North American Elvis Project. Yes.
Okay, sorry.
We are, and by the way, we're boots on the ground.
I saw Elvis in
Yeah.
a UFO.
Anyway, so speaking of boots on the ground, if you do want to find the spot in Las Vegas where there have been the most numerous Elvis sightings, where you want to go is what's called the Westgate Hotel.
Oh,
It was formerly known as the International Hotel, but while it was the International Hotel, this was the residency spot for the Elvis while he was alive. Well, as if to imply that he's not right now, because the man known as the Elvis, he did, air quotes, die in 1977, wink, right?
Right.
But before that, his main place of residency was at the Westgate Hotel. So naturally, most of the sightings, most of the paranormal encounters would take place there. The most famous account of a sighting was from none other than the man, Wayne Newton himself. Randy, you're familiar with this story,
oh, yes, I
right?
am. Please keep him away from any open flames. Okay, he will melt.
In 1977, the year that the Elvis died, wink, wink, not too long after that, Wayne Newton was actually holding a tribute show at the same theater where the Elvis performed. It was a very emotional time because they were very close. And
Yeah,
Wayne Newton, he was pretty torn up about it. He said that as he was performing, he was holding back tears because, the Elvis had just passed. And he said that during the performance, and this is a very famous account, he's told this on numerous shows.
yeah.
He looked up because the balcony section there was this empty section, and for some reason, the light was on when he knew that section was closed. So he thought it was strange, and as he was performing, he looked up at the balcony, and lo and behold, who was looking down on him? None other than the Elvis. And Wayne Newton said that this very profound moment, it affected him for the rest of his life. And like decades later, when he was recounting it on all of these paranormal shows, he would visibly be like shaking. Randy, you saw it, like you could tell, right? And it's not
Yeah.
easy.
Oh, yeah.
It's not easy to
Every time he
tell
told the
his emotion.
story.
Yeah, and it's not like it's easy to tell his emotion through his face. I mean, look at his face. But to have
Yeah,
that emotion come through all that plastic surgery, that's saying something.
he was literally. I mean, he was the one.
Yeah,
I believe it was on my Celebrity Ghost Story when he was relaying it. He was actually
yeah.
crying while he was talking about it because it affected him so much.
And not only that, but he also corroborated it because Wayne Newton apparently he claimed that the other band members also saw the same thing. The
I
Elvis
believe
looking
it.
down.
Yeah.
I believe it.
That's,
Especially being at the place that he liked being at, where he'd like to perform most times. And let's face it, at that time of his life, before he passed away, wink, wink, that he wasn't doing so well. We were talking about the whole substance problems,
yeah.
And he had them, straight up had them.
Yes.
So, maybe at the time, maybe that's where he wanted to be.
And he said there was no confusing it. He said it looked clear as day. It was him.
Well, yeah. I
And he
mean,
was shook.
he said it. He
Mhm.
said straight out. There was
Yeah,
no doubt what he was looking at, and
there
the
was no
band
doubt.
that backed him up said there was no doubt what they saw either. The ones
Yeah.
that saw it. I think it was his piano player and his either guitarist or bassist, one of the two. Both of them had saw the same thing at the same time.
Yeah.
And this doesn't even count the other stories he told about in the other areas. I mean, that's just the most famous one he always told.
Now, another common sighting at the same place, the Westgate Hotel, formerly the International Hotel, is that of Elvis, the Elvis, driving his famed red Cadillac.
God, that thing's beautiful.
So apparently, while Elvis was staying at the Westgate, he had his own like special like hidden personal driveway because he
Mhm.
had
Yeah.
like the suite, the penthouse suite. That's where he would stay when he was doing his
Mhm.
residency. And
Mhm.
where he would park, apparently, he had his own little personal hidden private driveway that he would drive into with his famed red Cadillac. And to this day, people report sightings of the Cadillac driving into a brick wall because now there's just a brick wall there, but they'll say they'll have sightings of a car with a man that looks an awful like the Elvis driving straight into a brick wall, no crash or anything. It's just like it just sinks right in. And that's the
Well,
very same spot where the Elvis had his personal driveway.
Well, Elvis loved his Cadillacs.
yeah.
He
His
loved it.
Thing
famous
I've
one is the pink one.
Yeah.
Uh,
The thing I got the issue with that whole what they're relaying is him driving it. He never drove himself at all. Not in Vegas anyway.
I wouldn't drive myself in Vegas.
No, I wouldn't either. But
No.
you know what I mean. I
Yeah.
mean, at that point of his career, I wouldn't think he'd be driving anything. But he had guys driving him
But
everywhere.
here's
Don't get me
you gotta
wrong.
remember, whoever he was driving him was most likely
Yeah.
just a person.
Oh yeah.
No,
Period.
That
I
person could have
believe that he
followed the
drove.
Elvis.
I believe that he drove. He loved his Cadillacs. Now, I'm telling you, he probably did do some driving,
Oh,
especially
there's no
back in
doubt.
that day, because it wasn't the traffic wasn't as bad.
No.
Yeah.
Of course, the roads were smaller. Let's just go with that. The roads were smaller. Was 2 lane in, 2 lane out.
Yeah. Yep. And we know he
But
drove all over Memphis. So
oh yeah,
that,
yes.
yeah.
Dude,
So
the Las Vegas stories are just barely scratching the surface. All of the stories, like in Memphis and in
oh
Graceland,
God, they're crazy. They are
we
crazy.
could fill several podcasts with just
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
This is barely just scratching the surface. I'm
Yep.
serious. Now, the more recent encounter was they were actually trying to do back in 2022. So this is only like what, 4 years ago?
Uh-huh.
They were trying to do it. They were doing a documentary about the like Elvis and the Westgate and like where he stayed.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they had like a documentary crew try to go into his actual suite, his penthouse
Yeah.
suite at the Westgate. Like, and it's pretty much been like they've kept it as is because it's been memorialized for the memory of the Elvis, right? So that's like one of the most famous
Yeah.
rooms. Like stay in the actual room where the Elvis was, right? So this documentary crew tries to go in there. And first thing they
Agreed,
said
Elizabeth.
was apparently it was deadbolt locked from the inside. Nobody
Yeah.
had any clue how that could have happened because there was obviously no one in
There's no
there.
way.
They fin
Yeah.
they finally had to, like, get the hotel staff to figure out a way to open the door. When they finally did, they found out there was no one in there. As
Yep.
they were filming, they would hear all these noises, cold spots. They eventually found, like, these heavy metal chairs thrown into, like, the swimming pool. There was no way
Really?
those chairs could have been, like, moved there by themselves because they were, like,
No.
very heavy. And throughout the Westgate Hotel, guests in various rooms would report sightings of the Elvis either walking down the halls. There's this one account where there was this family that was staying in one of the rooms where they had like they had a little girl, and the little girl would come out of the bathroom being like, "Mommy, Daddy, why is there this strange man in the bathroom right now?" And then the
Yeah.
next question was like, "Can ghosts hurt us?" And then when she described the strange man, it was the Elvis.
Now you make me
Hmm.
want to go there next.
Like apparently the Elvis is being spotted all over Westgate Hotel.
Well,
Not
yeah.
just in the theater area, not just that parking garage, not just the penthouse, all over the hotel.
That's
See, I never got to go to the Westgate. I didn't even know about that while I was in Vegas. I regret that's so hard because man, to have a chance to encounter him again,
Yeah.
it would give me a lot of closure because of the angst and personal turmoil that I went through
Well,
when I
the
encountered.
Westgate is still in operation, isn't it?
Yeah. As far as I
Yeah,
know.
it's still in operation. It was converted from the international, but I believe it's still, yeah, it's still in operation. It's still going.
And I bet they, like you said, they still maintained that penthouse that he lived in
And
when he was there.
apparently, yeah, he's being spotted everywhere in that hotel.
Wonder how much it is
People
to
will
get that
report
penthouse
different
back
things.
up
They'll
on that.
report to like a shadow man in the hallways. People will have sightings in their bathrooms. Kids who go there will
Yeah.
often report seeing
Oh, Moon.
a man who fits the description.
Welcome,
Now,
Moon, to the Booze Club. Welcome, welcome.
now let me ask you this, guys. If you're going to go stay in Vegas, which hotel are you checking out?
Boy, I'm up in the air now. I really am.
Well, I mean, for nostalgia reasons, I'd go to the Westgate.
Well, yeah.
Definitely go to the Westgate. You
I would
know,
do everything I
Castle
could to
Rock
get that penthouse.
Paranormal. Yeah, Castle Rock Paranormal, as we know, is a friend of the channel, and that is
Yeah.
Alex.
Yep.
And I got to investigate, of course, the Ruffin Theater in Tennessee, which is not very far from Memphis, and that was one of the places
Mhm.
that Elvis liked to play when he
Yeah.
was a younger guy.
Yeah.
So I got to be places like he said in the comment that somewhere the public isn't allowed to go in regards to Elvis. And I got to see where his little dressing room was and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So that is like something that is just
Yeah, I
crazy
remember
to
when you
stand there to
mentioned that.
think,
I was so jealous. I was so
yeah,
jealous when
like
you.
that man stood there, you know, you're like, dang, just dang, you know,
Yeah.
he performed on that stage that I walked across. Wow. You know, you're just like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. You know,
Yeah.
but do I believe that if he is actually passed away, that he would stay there? Yeah, I would.
Mhm.
I would. Because you know, the Brat Pack and all of them, as you know, they were all decent with one another. They got along. But the Brat Pack had the Stardust. So I'm pretty sure that Elvis wanted his own little piece of Vegas. And I
Yeah.
believe that the Westgate became his place.
Or at least Colonel Tom wanted him to have his own piece of Vegas.
Well, that's probably true. That's
Yeah.
probably true. But I do find that fascinating, Donnie, because I mean, I would go. I mean, I
Well, yeah.
probably couldn't afford his penthouse room. I probably would never be able to afford it.
We'll have to pull our pennies together and see what we can come up with.
Right, but I would like to get close. You know, I would like to at least get on the
Yeah.
floor. You know, I would like to get on the floor. And I bet you can't even do that either. But I mean,
Yeah.
I would love to.
The Elvis is way more active in Graceland. The amount of encounters, like I said, it would fill several podcasts. We don't have time. We're sticking to just Vegas, so I can only stick
Just
to
Vegas
Vegas.
tonight. Just
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah, just Vegas, right.
I feel a podcast coming on that we're going to do. I feel it. I feel it.
Okay.
So
Can I drop a
stay
doozy
tuned.
of a conspiracy theory? I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I got a doozy of a conspiracy theory. Ready?
Okay.
Elvis is actually the secret father of K-pop.
I think I just threw up a little. Hang on.
I've connected the dots.
Oh
I've
Lord.
connected.
Here we go.
Down to the haircuts, right?
Yes. Oh, by the way, we don't have that much time left, I see, but can I mention another spot that we should probably mention while we're at it?
What's
Yeah.
that?
All right, hold on. Let me pull it up because we do need to bring it up because it is Vegas. We need to bring up the Baggins Museum.
Ah.
What do you guys think about the Baggins
Oh.
Museum? I tried to go there when I was in Vegas, actually. Would you go?
You know,
Please
you can
get
take
him off
that
the
down
screen
because
so I
that
can
is
look
really,
at
I'm really
it. Yeah,
finding
please.
this appalling.
Yeah.
What
No,
you
no
need
bueno.
him with his shirt off, guys. It's the
No,
only
that's
Baggins
enough.
we can take.
There's
That's
a
enough.
reason he's called. It was in the comments earlier. There's a reason he's called douchebaggins. Okay.
Hey, don't say that. Anyway, that's a bleep. Okay, so there. Bleep.
How is that a
Uh,
bleep? I didn't cuss.
it's still a derogatory word, so bleep. Anyway, we're bleeping you. No,
Just think about that for a minute. I got a few more choice words for him.
now look. Now talking about the museum, to be on the serious side,
I'd go.
that man has brought all of these things that could possibly hold something demonic with it into one location. And these things are intermingling with the same energy.
Mm.
I always said I wanted to go, but I'm not sure if I really do.
Nope.
For number one, there's no videos, there's no pictures. You can't do any of that within the museum, which I think is crap. Okay. I think that's crap. I believe you should be able to at least take some pictures, but you can't.
Yeah.
But any place that would hold things such as Dr. Kevorkian's van and other items like the Dybbuk box, which, you know, the Blondes and Booze channel had Mr. Haxton on, which is the owner or where this all exploded with this particular Dybbuk box. Okay. And he took it into the museum and he opened it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you told me about that. I was like, what?
I'm thinking how irresponsible that's the best words that I can come up with for being here. Irresponsible of somebody to release something like that. Now he had it on his show, and I don't know if there's like a little mist that came out or whatever. It'd be right or wrong or fate or whatever. That thing had a history to it, and it carried something not great with it. And I just believe that it wasn't a very good thing for him to do. And opening it, and opening it within a building that has all of this stuff.
Yeah.
That is irresponsible. Now, most of the collectors of these items take precautions with them. They make sure that they're properly cased, that they have the right protections on them. They have all the things that they need to contain them. And here these things are in his museum, wide open.
Oh, Castle Rock. I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot about that.
The big box was debunked on his Halloween Live, then immediately escorted the rabbi out.
Yeah. That is freaking hilarious, though.
Right.
Well,
right.
He's all about the show, honestly. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Right.
He evolved from an actual investigator to what he is now.
Right. But I mean, like that box, there is something with it. Because we all talk about attachments. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's something with this thing. And to go back and watch the show, and it's been about 2 years maybe since we've had him on. We had him on twice, but it's been 2 years since we about had him on the last time. And just for him to explain the things that happened during when he had it, even when he buried it, which didn't help. Things can be manifested by people and attach itself to things. So, I mean, we as people can do this to ourselves. And like I said, just having all of that stuff in one spot is no. Just no. Just no.
Randy, would you go? Would you check it out? Would you buy
but
that?
you better believe I'll have my cross on. I'll have my holy water in my pocket, my crystals. I mean, I'll be strapped up from the toe up. You know what I mean? I would not go in there unprotected at all.
Is it free? First question I'm going to ask: is it free?
What if it was $1?
Absolutely not. You
It was
probably
$1.
I would not put $1 in his pocket. That's how bad I feel about it.
it probably cost a pretty penny to go through there.
And I'm not even going to give him the. I wouldn't give him a penny to go through it. Okay.
Right.
There's only one person's stuff that I will ever go through if he ever lets somebody go through it, and that's John Zappa's stuff.
Right. Right.
That's the only one. But I'm still going to be prepared, like you said. I'm going to make sure I got my warding stone on me and all that jazz. Because
I'm telling you what, I'm going to be weighed down.
Yeah, I'm going to be.
See, I tried to go to the museum when I was in Vegas. That's the difference with me, guys, because I'm a fan. I'm a true fan.
Well,
and you know what? You know what my theory is? You know what keeps those demons at bay? Do you know what keeps them in line? Zach Baggins with his shirt off.
Will you take that down? Oh my God! Stop!
I'm
telling you right now, Donnie has some serious.
Zach Baggins' exposed chest keeps them demons in line.
Donnie has some serious issues with Zach Baggins' naked body for some reason.
He's a glorious man. Don't be jealous, Randy.
I'm glad you're the glorious man telling the glorious man he's a glorious man. Have fun with it.
He's no Elvis, but you know.
No, Elvis would kick his ass. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, Elvis.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I hear it right. You know, there was a comic book out, and I hate this is also off the subject a little bit, but there was a comic book out one time, or a comic strip, where Elvis was actually alive, and he was actually a secret agent over wherever the hell it was. And
oh dear Lord!
As they finish it up, he saved this girl, and they're coming back. He said, "Now I got to go find this Michael guy that married my daughter." Like,
I don't even know what to do. I don't.
Well, because he was going after Michael Jackson next. So
yeah, I know. I mean, but there. Do you think though? Do you think that these old headliners, let's just say what they were.
Yeah.
They were headliners.
Yep.
Are still residing in Vegas. Do you still think they're there?
You were talking about the Stardust. Is the Stardust still standing?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Is there anything on that same area of land? Is there something new? I don't know.
I don't think they built anything on it.
Because
I haven't checked. I haven't checked.
You got the entire Rat Pack that was at Stardust. That now what you got? You got the entire Rat Pack. If you got somebody there or a place there for them to go that could be going through it, if the Stardust was still there, I don't know that would be the case.
But then again, we always talk about that it may not be the building, it may be the property.
That's what I was asking. Something had been put on there.
Because I watched the imploding of the building.
Yeah.
It's not the exploding, the imploding of the building, and everything goes down. Some of that stuff is still on the ground. They didn't scrape every little piece of dirt and go through it to find every piece of the hotel. There's still stuff in that dirt. There's still parts of that hotel in that dirt. So whether how minuscule that piece would be, it doesn't matter. There's still part of it there. And they've walked outside, they walked around the grounds, probably they walked the parking lots. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, they were just not in the hotel; they were around the building as well. So there is the possibility that if they were to build anything on that it would possibly still remain haunted.
The site is now home of to Resorts World Las Vegas.
Okay.
Those some original elements, like its sign, are preserved at the Neon Museum.
Yeah, the sign is still there. See, and that was the 2-lane road, one way in, one way out. Was the that's where that sign was located when it was first built.
So that means that there's something there then. So you got a decent chance, like you were talking about, with the property and such. There's a decent chance that you got some of the Rat Pack rolling through there. Yeah. Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr. It could easily be done.
What my theory is? I think they're all there except for Dean Martin. I think he's the only one that kind of moved on.
Yeah, and he did other things, but he was a better actor and everything than any of the others were.
He might have a different happy place.
He was
Yeah.
like he wasn't a drinker. He was a homebody. He liked to just have a private life with
Yeah.
his wife.
He
All the
wasn't
other
an
guys
over the
right
top
back there,
drinker. Let's put it that
they
way.
were like all about the life, you know.
Yeah.
Sammy
You're
Davis
right.
definitely that dude got involved in Satanism. You don't know
Oh
what
yeah.
his spirits do.
Well,
Exactly.
you know what other houses in Las Vegas while we got a minute or two?
Yeah.
You know the guy, Red Fox, who played Fred
Yeah.
Sanford?
Yeah.
His
Fred
house
Sanford,
is
yeah.
in Vegas. And they say
Okay.
that thing is super haunted.
Well, think of how he passed too. Why wouldn't it be? You know? I mean, literally, he died because everybody thought he was doing his heart attack, his little I'm coming Elizabeth stick, and it wasn't fake. He
It was
literally went down.
it was a real one and they thought he was acting.
Yeah. Even Della Reese said that they were so distraught when they figured out it was real, and it had been
Mm.
4 or 5 minutes. He'd been laying there. They've been looking at him like, "Are you going to get up? You going to get up?" And then she's like, "We need to get somebody over here." And they finally were able to, hey, and they got him to the hospital. He was gone by the time they got him to the hospital. So, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you
I'm
know,
telling you.
but they I mean you can't get into the house now, but there
Mhm.
was a time where you could.
Oh wow.
Um but you can't get in anywhere near it now, but people are saying that that thing is just haunted. You can drive by it still.
Well, yeah. I mean, why not? If you happen to catch a glimpse or something, is somebody actually living in it?
I don't know. I don't honestly know.
Yeah. So, heck, how many people's houses in Vegas do you think there could be though, outside of just him? Honestly,
I don't know. I mean, but we also have to what we didn't dig into is how many famous actors, musicians, or anything else like that have passed away in Las Vegas. Besides the
yeah,
one we know of, you know what I mean? Who
yeah.
else do other
Well,
ones,
Tupac,
Was he in
That's
Vegas or was
true.
it? Well, he was in Vegas, wasn't he?
he was in Vegas when he got shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep. Okay,
Hmm.
so where did Biggie Smalls go? Was he in Vegas too, or was he out in L.A.?
I think it was in LA when that happened, but I gotta look that up.
I just watched
Yeah,
the
it's something
documentary.
that we didn't even dive into. We were
No,
just going
Yeah.
to actors and musicians who were back in the day, when Vegas began, you know.
Yeah.
But
Tupac
I
for
mean that would
sure.
be
Yeah.
interesting to find out. I think so. I mean, because there's a lot of our, childhood actors and actresses that just couldn't cut the mustard as they grew up, and Vegas was a place for them to go. But
yeah.
like I said,
It's where dreams go to die. That's what I always say.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
pretty
one
much,
hundred
Yeah.
percent.
pretty much. It's just sad. It's sad. But like I said, is that whole place haunted? Yeah,
I'd
Oh,
say so.
no doubt,
Yeah.
no doubt.
No
absolutely.
doubt. No doubt.
Even if that whole city was leveled tomorrow and nobody was there, you could go in there a year from now, and I bet money you're going to pick up stuff left
No,
and
if
right.
you look completely leveled the place and made it completely empty, and then a Native American tribe rolled up in there and moved in, they'd be like, "Damn, this place is haunted as heck."
Hey, all right, here we
Well,
go.
yeah.
I
This is
think
an
that they
ancient
were there
American
before. I
burial
think
ground
that they
here.
were there before all of that.
Yeah.
So they
Okay,
might have said, depending on how they acquired that land, there could have been something
yeah,
there that we didn't look into. How they acquired the land. Maybe the mob just moved in and said, "This is our stuff now." You know, they just went through the
yeah.
old government channels and took the land. Of course, they may have sold it. I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting to find out who owned that property before it was taken over
Yeah.
Yeah.
by the mob. You know what I mean? Yeah. We
Yeah,
could be onto
that
something there. There could be something a little more deep rooted that we don't know about.
because quite frankly, when you think about it, the only Native Americans that I think went through that area would have been the nomadic Apache or Comanches, probably. Because there's no place to sit there and just put down stakes and farm or to raise cattle or anything like that. There's nothing there for that. You got to go upstate for that. So
Yeah.
So, that would be interesting to find out how or who they acquired that property from. I don't know. But
Well,
with that being said,
it's built for Area 51 employees.
right, right. With that being said, we've reached the hour and a half mark, everybody.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us and talking about the weird Las Vegas and all the creepy, crawly, weird
Different
stuff.
stuff. Weird stuff, yeah.
Yeah, including the Elvis. That's still
The Elvis.
the Elvis that still call Las Vegas home. So,
Yeah. Westgate, here I come.
Right. And to dig deeper in it, I'd really have to go to Vegas. I'd honestly have to go to Vegas because everything that I'm finding is very vague. So I would have to really go and just find out for myself.
Exactly. 100%. So
All right.
okay.
So
Y'all get over there and see Paul.
Right. Don't forget to turn into Blondes and Boos tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central at the same channel right here. We'll be on tomorrow at 8 o'clock. We'll be having, of course, Bigfoot Michigan Rob and Mr. Josh Turner joining us tomorrow evening. So stay tuned for that. Friday evening, we'll be on Paranormal Roundtable doing our second segment of our discussion. And then on Saturday night, I know that Donnie does his show at 8:30 p.m. Central. What you got going this week, Donnie?
Well, I had a change of plans because someone couldn't make it. Thanks a lot, Randy. So
I'd rather go investigate, okay?
I gotta swerve my original plan, but it was a good plan, but I'll come up with something. Don't worry, guys.
All right. And then later on that evening at 10 p.m. Central, it'll be the third installment of everything that we're talking about, starting at 10 p.m. Central, of course, on Bigfoot Michigan Rob Into the Bizarre, and bizarre news and all that kind of good stuff. So make sure you tune in Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and catch all three segments, plus catch Donnie's We Don't Know show yet. And then tune in Sunday at 5 p.m. Central for Truth or Tinfoil with Randy and myself. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We're going to see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Bye.